Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the Polish tier 10 medium tank, the CS-63. Now there's been quite a few videos on the channel of this tank. It had the on-track for it, but the week it came out it had its own separate video. It's got one feature that is pretty special, pretty great, and that is this gas turbine engine. Now you activate this for 2 seconds, you can get up to 70 kilometers an hour ridiculously easily. The horsepower per ton goes up to like above 30, which is just mentally good. It means if you take the Himmelsdorf hill, for example, you can go up the hill on Himmelsdorf at about 50 kilometers an hour. Yeah, it's pretty mental, and don't mind the dreadful driving right there. Yeah, just my driving, right? The only problem is when you're in that mode, in that gas turbine travel mode, the gun handling becomes absolutely shocking. And you very unreliably will not hit people. Now I say unreliably because I mean RNG is RNG, right? You hit some stupid shots with it when you have the gas turbine engine in, and it's so funny when you do. But you shouldn't rely on ever hitting people with it because the aim time is horrendous, and the gun handling just becomes incredibly bad. That is. Now I managed to shut down the Vanguard there, which is always great, right? When you kill the pest, it's always lovely. And now we've got shots down onto this T100 LT, but I've got to be careful because the tanks like that T54 over there are trying to angle for shots. I mean, it's not good, but we get a nice shot into him. That's the other thing that you're seeing right here with the CS-63. It's just how good this gun is. This gun is fabulous, right? It does miss, it's got 0.36 accuracy, right? But with 6.0 accuracy and having the cruise skills and that, the gun is really nice. But not just that, the DPM, the reload, the rate of fire on this tank is just fabulous. It's like the blink of an eye, right? Before the tanks know what's happening, you've taken most of the health and they're like, wait, what's happened to my health? It's like, well, it's all gone. And yeah, it's blistering. You just take people apart so quickly. So I've decided I need to help this guy on this corner. We've got this IS-7 in front of us, and we're just going to boost our DPM with food, and we're going to try and get some more shots in. We've got the Trackam pen onto that 777 version 2. The E5 take pops out. Unfortunately, it doesn't pen him. Unfortunately, though, we do snap the shot into the rock because I was just trying to get him before he edged back. But now we've reloaded, we're going to just put a shot into this lower plate, this IS-7. Now, this IS-7 will fire probably 1 for every 2 that I get into him. And that just says a lot for how quickly you can tear people apart. Now obviously this tank doesn't really have any armour, but it's got that weird kind of armour where on paper you're looking at it going, my lord, it's got absolutely nothing. But it's got angles, and those angles count for a lot, and you tend to ricochet quite a lot of shells off of the upper plate and around the turret, where you shouldn't rely on it. You shouldn't think, yes, I'm going to go bounce something on my hull armour or my turret armour. But just be aware that you can do it, and when you shoot at these things and you say they're pulling back behind the ridgeline and you just ricochet off the upper plate, be aware that that can happen because the armour is just that sort of angled trollness. So we've got rid of the 2 heavy tanks that were behind us, and now it's time to go chasing after the guys that are in the ice road, because pretty much most of their team is in the ice road, and we want to try and go help win that. We've got some nice shots into the back of this 705. We're hopefully going to be able to shut him down, which we do. And now he's gone, it's time to pull forward, because there's no way I'm going to get shots at the other guys. And this is the problem with Mountain Pass and the ice road. We had literally 3 guys, just 3 tanks, on the ice road, and that was it, and it stopped at least 5 of them. The ice road generally is just not a great place to go on this map because it tends to end up in being, you know, sort of the flank stalling, and it always does stall, and that is a big problem. The other way is definitely a good way of going. It does have the problem, obviously, that if you're in a slower tank and you're trying to get along the H line or the J line, you tend to get caught out by tanks that spot up at like E3, and that is a bit of a problem. But yeah, I'm just not a fan of the ice road. I just don't think it's ever any good, really. So we come around on this Dragon. We finished the Dragon off because we got a bit unlucky at the one that bounced on him. There's one tank left, and it's the artillery, and it's like, well, there's going to be one place that artillery is. It's going to be at like A5. He gets spotted up, so the likelihood of me actually getting any damage on that guy, not at all. But it was a nice game for the CS-63, and we've had a very nice amount of damage, and it was sort of that sort of quick fire game that this tank can be good at. And we got 7 kills, 6,200 damage, 266 assists, ace tanker, devastator, top gun, high caliber, and 1679 base XP. This tank is ridiculously good. It's such a good tank. And when you've got games that go very quickly, this is one of those tanks that can keep up, because there's tanks out there that just can't keep up with fast games, and this is one of them that can. So we're on to the next game, which is on Prokhorovka, which is honestly probably a fantastic map for anything that's like quick, like this tank, and has good reload and has decent view range and decent camo, because this tank also has decent camo. It's got 2 artillery on it in this game, which could be a bad thing, because obviously we might just end up getting blapped from the sky, which would be bad. But I'm thinking, you know, I'm still going to take the position anyway that I would on this ridge line in front of us, because there's 2 artillery on their team that will blap us and make us not very happy and not very well. But at the same time, there's 2 artillery on our team that could do the same to them. And if I spot up for them, obviously that's a hell of a lot of assists that could possibly run my way. So we pop up on the ridge line to see if we can get a shot into the third now, which we do. And you see one of the drawbacks of the tank just there with pulling back off the ridge line. And that is just how slow it is at reversing. It's a very, very slow reverser. It's one of those that if you get yourself into position really, really quickly, which the tank can do, but then realise, no, this is a situation I don't want to be in, yeah, backing out of it is not the best, and quite honestly, sometimes you're probably actually better to use the good track traverse of the tank, swivel on a sixpence, and just get out of there and drive forwards instead. Know that you're going to take at least a hit or 2 in doing it, because if you just back out of the situation, you're probably going to take more hits that way. We get a nice shot into the T-28 on the move, which is about right. It's a sad, sad tank. We've moved into the bowl, which is a very aggressive play, especially with 2 artillery. But again, I know that I've got friends, right, and I want to try and push my view range up and spot out as much as possible, because if I light them up, look where my team is. My team is all on this one line. There's like 2 guys on the hill. If I light up anything that's hiding down this one line, I'm going to get a lot of assistance from everybody that's behind me. We managed to just about dodge the artillery. That E5, oh, that poor E5. He got absolutely blapped. Was that like 1900 hit points? That poor guy. But that's all the more for me, because that's put me up to 2.7k assistance, which is always nice. The artillery pops a shot at us and hits us and tracks us only. I say tracks us only, did quite a bit of damage to us as well. And now we've got this CS-63, the tier 8 Polish medium tank in front of us. And the Sheridan, which we get a nice shot into. Like, honestly, like I say, this gun is just really nice. And with the reload, it's great. We get another shot free-aimed into the Sheridan. We're just going to keep swiveling, because hopefully if he goes past us, he might ricochet off our armour. We can't quite swivel in time for it. He pens us on the move. We bounce off his backside, because if you don't know about the Sheridan is basically a tank. And then it's got 20mm of like box armour on top of the actual chassis of the tank. So the boxy nature of it, a lot of it is actually like, I think it's 20, it might even be less than that. But it's just basically metal that's hulked onto the rest of the hull. And the back end of the Sheridan, which annoyingly happens a lot, if you shoot it and you'll bounce and you'll all get absorbed, there's probably a 5mm gap where it's just space armour. There is no tank there. So if you shoot the back end of a Sheridan, or if you're shooting at a Sheridan, make sure you aim as far forward at the front of the Sheridan as much as you can, because if you hit the back end, there's more likely chance that you're just going to get absorbed or you miss. So you see, we're trying to put the good DPM to work here on these guys that are in front of us. The artillery we can see is keep firing out from the back. He is spotted, and we're just keeping the view range up as much as possible. We're on 3.7k damage, we're on 3.3k assisted, which is really nice. And now I've decided it's a time to push forward, but just as I activate the drive mode, I spot up the 268 version 5 at the back. The timing on that was impeccable. We get back out of it again so that we can aim at the 268 version 5 and get a shot or two into him. And honestly, the timing on that was incredible. That was such great timing for me to spot that guy. And we're still lighting these guys in front of me up. There's the troll armour of the CS-63. Right there. That shot at that guy, ricocheting, that is exactly what I'm on about. You can just ricochet shots that... It's not like you're playing a 30B. The 30B most of the time will pretty much be penned, guaranteed, when you're shooting at it. This tank, you can just, I say, ricochet those shots, which is funny when you're in the tank, but a pain in the arse when you are shooting at them. Now we get a nice shot into the CS-53 on the move. We're just going to keep moving forward. We're going to try and charge under their gun line. That was filth. Honestly, that should not have gone in. But it was a great shot. It goes in, and we've just got this M48 in front of us, and we shut down the M48 120mm on the move. We finished that game with a very nice tally for the tank. It's Prokhorovka, like I say, great map for the tank. I finished that game with 4 kills, 6.2k damage, 5k assistance, it's 11k combined, ace tanker, confederate, high caliber, 1780 base XP. Honestly, the CS-63 is a fabulous, fabulous tank. It's what I should definitely play more. I need to play it more, definitely. And it's fabulous, and it's definitely one that you should always think of trying to go down that line and pick it up, because the whole line is just a fabulous line. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
A great success!